Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the things you need to know before we start the main class or main training, because it's very essential you are ready for the training before we get started. I will show you the softwares needed and many other things. Before we continue, let me quickly introduce myself, what I do, um, things that I've been doing for a number of years now. I'm Afolabi, a Nigerian, of course, and I have about 14 to 15 years experience in programming, and I started programming around 2002 precisely. I was 13 when I first had access to computer. I think 13 or 14, I can't or thereabout. No, around 12. I can't remember precisely. Around 90 something. I can't remember precisely. My brother brought a Pentium 1 computer, and that time we used to play games and do some stuff on computer. And after some time, after my secondary school days, I picked interest in computing, and I decided to save and buy my own computer at that time. And I bought a desktop computer, and I was able to work on it to do some stuff, but I was unable to do stuff because I didn't know much about programming at that time. I didn't know that there are set of instructions you need to put together to come up with games like PlayStation and all that. After a while, um, I was actually playing a game. I think it's PES 2022 or something, and I told myself I really want to be a developer, and I want to explore the world of programming. And I started browsing the internet. At that time, you need to go to the cafe, you know what I mean. You need to go to the cafe and surf the net. So at that time, I was surfing the net to know what is going on in my environment. So I got someone in the United States, my mentor. So I'm not the kind of person that will tell you that I learn everything on my own. I think that is actually wrong, because people who put videos on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, they were not robots. All the videos on Facebook or YouTube or whatever were uploaded by someone like me and someone somewhere. So I contacted my brother in the US that, please, I want to subscribe to this to this program. And at that time, it was very difficult to transact with Naira accounts. So I had to call him, and God bless my brother, and he subscribed for me for a year. So I was following the man Bob Tabor religiously, and I can tell you boldly that everything I know today, I will show you his picture and some other things about him. Everything I know today, that man taught me. His name is Bob Tabor. He's an American software evangelist. Now, Microsoft acquired him, I think, about 3 or 4 years ago. I can't remember now, and is 7 times Microsoft MVP, most valuable developer. And he taught me everything I know about programming. I joined his team, his programming class around 2004 or 5. I can't remember precisely. Around 2004, and he taught me everything I know about programming. And since that time, I've been following him. And though he doesn't know me one on one, but of course, and one day I will be able to explain that, sir, you're the one that taught me programming, and thanks for giving back to your community. So as like I said, I have 14 years in experience, and 40 years experience. My proficiency C Sharp, can develop in C Sharp application, Java, JavaScript, SQL, Python, just name it. Now, there's one thing I want you to understand basically, is that software development is just about learning a new language. For instance, if you want to learn Spanish or German, just think of it this way. I want to learn a new language. I want to learn Spanish. So instead of learning Spanish, I want to learn a universal language. In other words, programming is a universal language. That is, programming can communicate with virtually all languages we have in the world. That is why you have to think of it that way. And one thing that is certain, I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm not saying this to um, to let you feel as if you can't be part of it. The truth is, it is humanly impossible for you to learn programming language or programming basically under 2 weeks. It is not possible. You can learn the peripherals, you can know, just like if you want to learn French, it is almost impossible for you to learn French or German in 2 weeks. You need to be there, you need to work harder, you need to read, you need to be in a community. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, today at the end of this pre-class, you'll be able to install all software needed. Then I'll walk you through the portal, how you submit your assignment, how you um, upload your videos and many other things. I mean, upload your assignments, classwork, attendance, and so on. And okay, that is getting ready for classroom experience. So the software we're going to use is Visual Studio Community Edition. Actually, I prefer this one because I'm going to introduce Visual Studio Code. But I would strongly recommend that you choose this because this will give you a lot of headache. And SQL Server is basically for our database. That is, whatever we want to store. You may not need to install this for now, but the one that is very, very important for you to install is this Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio Community Edition. So let's get started. Let's install Visual Studio Community Edition. I'm going to hop over to my desktop now, and I'm going to, for you to install it, just search through your browser search bar, Visual Studio 2019, just 2019, yeah, Visual Studio 2019, sorry. So you select this visualstudio.microsoft.com. That's the direct URL. visualstudio.microsoft.com. And this, I'm not exaggerating, I've been using a number of IDE, that is integrated development environment, for some time now. I've used Android Studio, I've used Eclipse, I've used JetBrains or something, and I've used Visual Studio Code. I think from my own experience, Visual Studio is still one of the best IDE out there. It's still one of the best, and you can Google it, best IDE out there. Because with Visual Studio, let's quickly walk through Visual Studio environments now. So you develop with the entire tool set from initial design to final deployment. You don't need necessarily have to download separate software. Everything is embedded inside Visual Studio. All you need to do is just to plug and play, and it's very, very easy to use. I'm going to walk you through it, and you download it and install it. So write code with fewer errors. One juicy thing about Visual Studio is that you hardly make mistake when you are deploying your code or your project, because if there is a single mistake, Visual Studio will prompt you that, oh, there's a mistake here. If even ideally a simple thing, a simple code, like if you mix comma, if you are supposed to put comma and you didn't put comma, your program may not work effectively. So Visual Studio will fix all those one for you. Of course, let me go back to my slide and show you some of the things you need to get. Some of the things you need to know about Visual Studio. So it's still the best in-class IDE development, that is integrated development environment. Improve intelligence, performance, write code with fewer errors, quick fix and fix bug. So one juicy thing about Visual Studio, I can connect to your system and debug. That's the beauty of that Visual Studio 2019. Better performance, excellent and broad range of plugins, amazing coverage over languages. Okay, so let's download Visual Studio 2010. If you 2019, if you want to download Visual Studio, make sure you download this Community Edition. Professional Edition is a paid version, and Enterprise, because that one is around $4,000 or thereabouts. But this Community Edition is free, and you will be able to do virtually everything. You can deploy whatever you have to deploy. You can develop very robust application with Community Edition. The difference is that yeah, if your return on investment is getting close to $1 million, you need to move. You need to upgrade to professional edition and enterprise edition, things like that. So basically, this community edition is basically for single developer, just like you and I. Okay, so um, I'm going to download it now. So thank you for downloading Visual Studio. Your download will start shortly, and if your download does not begin, you can click here. So I'm going to click here. I think I've downloaded it before, but I might need to download it again so that you understand. Here we go. So I'm using free download manager. It's a very cool download manager that you can use to download things like this. Okay, so now that we have this, the next thing to do is I want to launch. You can launch it directly, but I would prefer to launch it from my downloads and click community edition. I'll click yes and wait for this. So you need to set up, before you get started, we need to set up a few things so that you can configure your installation. I'm going to click OK, and this might download some setup files for you. Okay, so after that, this is our Visual Studio installer, and this at this point it's very important you understand the files you need to install, or else we have to spend a lot of money on data. So this will download Visual Studio installer. I think it's around 40 megabytes for this installer. Then after that, it will load all the features or products you are to install. This may take about 20 to 20 minutes or thereabout for you to finish the installation. So after your installation, you are going to say this. I mean, the workload, the individual component, the language packs, the installation locations. Now, this is very critical because you may be tempted to select everything. That's this. By the time you select everything, the minimum download will be around 8 gigabytes or more. Definitely, to be more than that. So that is why I said it's recommended that I must do this video before you download your Visual Studio. All right, so if you are going for web application, that is, if you are going for, let me open Edupower, and if you are going for this now, web application development using .NET framework, you will need to select this ASP.NET Web and Web Development. This is very critical. This is very important. Without installing this, you won't be able to develop web applications. And you need to, if you want to develop desktop application, you need to install this. This one is around 700 megabytes. This one is around 1.3 megabytes. And if you want to develop mobile application, that is, if you are going for mobile app, cross-platform mobile application, you don't need to select any of this. You just need to install only this, or this, and possibly you can, okay, for web developers, you need to install this and .NET Core cross-platform development. Is very important. You need to install the two, and of course you can install Visual Studio Extension Development too. Or all this Office SharePoint, you don't need all this. If you want to install it, no problem, but it will at least drop about 8 gig of your data. So if you want to develop games application, you install this, and we don't need that for now. So mobile application, install this, and probably this. If you want to deploy your apps on desktop as well, you can install this. So web, install this, If you're going for this, the last one too, this complete web front end web development from scratch, just install this and this, right? Mobile application developer, install this and possibly this. This is a bit huge. You can install only the mobile application for mobile development with .NET. This is because I've installed this. That's why it's the mark is this has been ticked because I've already installed it, and I've installed this. So if you want to develop desktop application, you install this too. So if you have enough data, install this, and this. Then this extension, then .NET framework. That's about 6.1.2. 3. We'll be talking about this one later, but for now you can stay. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and possibly 7. But later you can install Azure development. So the total gig that you are going to use to install all this should be around 2.2 gig or 3 gig. If you want to install everything, around 2 or 3 gig or thereabouts. But if you want to install this alone, it's around 700 megabytes. Just click. Once you select it, you don't select this install while downloading. Rather select download all, then install. This one will take a longer time to install because it's download to install and download again, install. It can take up to like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. But if you download first and install, it should be within the space of within 1 hour or 2 hours. You'll be able to install everything. So that is that about Visual Studio. Because I've installed it, I'm not going to worry myself about it again. I'm going to clear out this. Now that I've installed Visual Studio, the next thing I'm going to do is to show you the environment platform. I'll click this, or you can search Visual Studio on here. That is if you're using Windows 10, Visual Studio 2019. This is the environment platform. But because at first, I'm going to send another video that will show you a welcome screen, because this is not, you need to sign up using Microsoft account. I'm going to send you that video as well that shows you the environment screen and now you can set it up for the first time. So this is how to create your application, EduPower and all that. So your open recent application will be here. You can create new application here, create new project. You can create web application, Blazor, ASP.NET web application, and many more. You can develop for web, iOS library, mobile, Office plugin, depending on the installation you choose. Anyway, so Android, Azure, iOS, Linux, Mac, and all that. And you can select your preferred programming language like C#, C++, F#, Java, JavaScript, Python, query language, TypeScript, and VP. Of course, one juicy thing about Visual Studio is that you can add as many as possible languages. It can house all the platform. Now, for the Visual Studio Code, I made mention of Visual Studio Code here, that we'll be dealing with Visual Studio Code. Later, I will show you how to install SQL Server. For now, you don't need to install SQL Server. For Visual Studio Code, that one is pretty small, but I will strongly recommend that you use Visual Studio 2019. But pending the time, if you're unable to download it pending the time, you can use Visual Studio Code, which is exactly the same thing as a lighter version of Visual Studio. That is, the problem about Visual Studio Code is that you need to configure virtually everything all by yourself. Unlike Visual Studio, where you don't have to configure, just plug and play. Just select the project and you are good to go. So for Visual Studio Code, you go to this code.visualstudio.com. I'm going to select this Visual Studio Code now and wait for this to come up. So code you define. One beauty thing about Visual Studio Code is that you can actually, it's more or less like Visual Studio, but the problem is that you need to configure everything. And one thing about it is that it's very light. I think it's around 50 megabytes. When I click download, you can download for it's a cross-platform app, mobile. I mean IDE, where you can download for Windows, you can download for Mac, you can download for Linux. So I'm using Windows now. You can download. If you're using Mac, you select Mac. But if you're using Windows, download using Windows. And if it's 64-bit, preferably I prefer 64-bit. Of course, you need to it's better you use 64-bit because of some machine design and some other things you need to do. So let's wait for this guy to download. And if it's not going to download, you click try this direct download or something. Okay, so for you to download this Visual Studio, it's just about 54 megabytes. I think I've downloaded it before. Let me go to my download. Okay, I have downloaded this before because I don't want to waste much time. I'm going to delete this now. Delete this, delete file, and I'll go to my downloads and look for Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to install it. It's pretty much easy to install. Just accept, click, select. You can create shortcut on your desktop. That'll be easy to use and install. But one thing about Visual Studio Code is that you need to configure everything, and it's tiring, man. I recommend you use the Visual Studio community. But if you want to talk about the maybe XML. Of course, if you are a mobile app developer, you can't use Visual Studio Code. I don't think so. Because we are using Xamarin for our development, so you need to stick to that and download it. So for the Visual Studio Code, let me run it now. It's pretty much easy to use, but you need to configure back and front. You need to download extensions one by one, C# extensions, Visual Studio extensions, all the plugins, all those information. You need to download it before you start using it. So depending on number of people that is having problem with the Visual Studio Community Edition, so you might need to show them how they can set up Visual Studio Code. But if you are 90% of us are able to download Visual Studio Community Edition, then the rest must find a way to download it. Maybe they can buy it from the market or something. Okay, so the last but not the least is the web application. I'm going to let me sign out from this. Let me sign out. Okay, so let me quickly run you through the EdupowerBox so that you'll be able to understand how you're going to submit your assignments and all that. I'm going to click login now. I believe all of us must have registered. Of course, you can't join the WhatsApp group if you have not registered. So you click login, you log in with your username and password. I'm going to use this login. I'll log in with my username and password. And with this, you select your course, the course you're going for. If it's cross-platform, if it is this, and if you want to add more courses, you go to courses. This is my Dex. So for cross-platform mobile app development, you click. If you want to go to classroom, suppose we're having a class now. I just want to watch video. You want to download your videos. You go to classroom. Here, the current week that you are in will automatically play here. You can stop it, and I tend to place. By the time we start the project, by the time you go to week 1, week 2, you're able to see a download link somewhere around this place where you can download directly and watch offline. I think that will save a lot of data as well. So all you need to do is just to download. Of course, if you prefer to watch directly, you can as well watch directly if you prefer that. After the video, and notice one thing, the prerequisite to all of these videos now is the workshop class, that is the live meeting. So the moment we are through with the live meeting, I will enable all other content so that you're able to watch and download. So the chat room, during the meeting, you can add your chat room here. It will be available or not before. It will be available on the 25th of May. Then Here you will be able to find your assignment here. By the time I send it to your WhatsApp that, oh, we've added your assignment, you log in and get your assignment here. Then the classwork will be here, and future further readings. Of course, there will be more PDF, just short PDF that you need to use based on that class that you are in. Okay, so then for source file, that is, if I develop one application, I'll upload the source file here. You can download the source file from here. And project work, this will be your project work, and this one will be available during week 8 lessons. That is, you come up with your own projects. Then you, just like school, just like university or higher institution, you come up with your own project. You write project scope, just like that. And I'm serious, I'm going to mark it. And after, at the end of the project, you publish the project online. Of course, I can tell you that this project is not, you can't develop this project because you can't make money from it, things like that. So we need the project, and trust me, it's not our project, it is your project. When you're through with it, you can upload it online. You usually upload it online. Then we teach you how to monetize it, how to make money from the project. And of course, one error will not come to us, is your project. So here you will be able to know, like week 16 mobile app for business. That is where we teach you how to make money from your project, because the upgrade account. So one other thing you need to learn is that you can start from free and upgrade. So for instance, maybe you are through with basic now, you can upgrade. Just like currently this account is a premium account, you can upgrade. So you can upgrade from 5,000 to 8,000. So minus it and you pay the remaining. So you don't have to pay all at once, depending on your pocket. So we've made it a little bit flexible. I think I'm through with everything now. I don't think we have another thing left. Oh, okay. So thank you very much. See you probably on Friday. See you on Friday, and by the time I post this video, you should start your installation, which I believe within the space of 3 days you must have finished your installation, so that by Monday you are ready for the class by Monday evening, and you can always send your questions across. Thank you.